since 1999. Folks, are we all here? Thanks. Tonight we will have a special action meeting before our regularly scheduled work session. The meeting is being videotaped for community cable channels. Individuals attending this meeting and intending to speak to the board should be aware that they are being videotaped. In order to meet the requirements of the Pennsylvania Sunshine Law, it is necessary to record the names of all citizens who speak to the board during the meeting. To assure compliance with this requirement, it is essential that those planning to address the board come to the microphone and state their name and address. Members of the audience are asked to limit their questions and comments to no more than 5 minutes. This limit will permit time for all those who wish to speak to the board to do so, and whenever members of the audience exceed this time limit, the board president may ask the individual to yield the microphone to the next speaker. And this is in reference to board policy 8344.2. Mr. Sowers, would you lead us in a pledge, please?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let me make a few announcements and handle some matters of housekeeping. This evening, we had an executive session for matters of personnel that began at 6:37 p.m. this evening. The meeting lasted until 7:31, and again, it was an executive session for matters of personnel. Also, we have a small little chest award for a very large board member. Vincent Sherpinski, North Penn School District, is awarded this certificate in recognition of completion of School Board Academy courses 1 through 4. And he's got this itty bitty little pin that he's supposed to put on his chest. Can we? No, I'll kill him with it. No, you just sit right there. Watch this. Now stand here, the little stand. Can you imagine? What is this going to do? Anyway, nice little lapel pin.
Good job, baby.
A little close-up of Mr. Sherpinski and his award, please. Thank you for going. Thank you. It's not a varsity letter, but we're glad you're involved. Okay. Not a cent. Matter of fact, it probably cost him a car phone bill to call his family from the academy. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, generally at a special action agenda, we start with an audience of citizens, but before we begin, we'd like to give you some information for those of you that are here specifically for concerns about class size. How many people are here? All right, some of you are raising twice. Thank you. Anyway, let's give our superintendent an opportunity to maybe address some of your concerns before you all come up here and possibly say the same thing. Maybe there's things that he can tell you that'll help the situation. Dr. Hassler.
I'll try. I know that every year at this time we have this discussion on class size, and I know that Dr. Venema has met with both parents from Gwinnett Square and also Hatfield to talk about your concerns about class size. As usual, before we add classes at this time of the year, we like to get firmer numbers. Normally, we know the number of students who have enrolled at North Penn pretty much as they trickle in the summertime and especially the first day. But what seems to trickle in a little bit later are those who are not here. And that's not to say that the numbers are going to change dramatically at either Hatfield or Gwinnett Square. But normally what we do is wait for our 10th day enrollment. Now if we wait till next board meeting, that'll be around the 8th day. So I think we'll have pretty firm numbers by that time. As of today, though, we are within the guidelines that have been established over the years at North Penn. We tried to make those a little bit more definitive this year as far as when we would recommend adding aides and when we would recommend adding teachers. But we haven't changed the guidelines at all. And we've also tried to focus over the years at the primary level, and that's why we move teachers sometimes from grade level to grade level. If there were 4 in one grade level last year, there may be 3 because we may have repositioned a teacher through the whole process at a primary level. So we try to look at our class size at the primary level first, and do it in a prudent and consistent and instructionally sound method. We have about 5 hot spots right now throughout the district, and Don can speak to that in a minute, a little bit more detail. But we also know that we have 5, 6, or 7 other spots that are close to what we would consider hot spots. And we just want to make sure before we make any recommendations that we have a good handle on just how many additional teachers or aides that we might be recommending, and bring that back to the board as a recommendation at our next meeting. Don, you want to add to where we are currently? The numbers seem to change every day.
Other than to say that I did have the principals give me some specific numbers today in those schools where we have, quote, spots. And so far, we found very little change. However, we do know that this does take some time. We also, just in the last day and a half, identified a couple of other schools that I would almost label as hotspots. So I would say it's between 5 and 7, possibly 8 places in the district that could be affected by numbers that are more stable once we get to the 3rd or the 10th day.
Okay. All right, before we take audience as citizens, we do have additional business. Mr. Shapinsky?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we amend the special action agenda to include other business.
Second.
Motion by Shapinsky, second by Prokowski. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please add then that closer towards the end of the evening, where we generally have other business, that has been added to this special agenda. Okay. Now, for those that call in to be placed on the agenda for an opportunity to come up and speak at the podium, Tina France from Hatfield has called. So in light of that, Tina will go first, and then anybody else you would line up after that. But Tina had already called into the district. That's a common practice.
Tina?
Mrs. France.
Lisa.
Okay, it says Tina. I'm very sorry.
My name is Lisa Franz. I live at 40A Blaine Avenue in Hatfield. Before I get started, I would just like to let you know that I have been assigned the privilege to come up and speak this evening on behalf of several 4th grade parents that met with Dr. Venema last week, and also others that were not able to be here. But I would like those people to please stand now so you realize I'm not up here just for myself.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, ladies.
My name is Lisa Franz, and I am a parent of a 4th grader at Hatfield Elementary School. We, the 4th grade parents, have great concern of the class size in our children's classrooms. As of this afternoon, there are 119. I see on this list that we were just handed out, it's lower than that, but as of this afternoon, there were 119 students in the 4th grade in our school. We have 3 classes of 30 and 1 class of 29 students. We are not questioning the ability of our teachers, for we know we have the best. But are they able to work at the best of their ability with this many students in a room that is not big enough for a smaller class, let alone for a large class that they have now? By having this many students in the room, the on-hands projects that we do, as well as almost any other project, may not be able to happen. We have been told that we must present to you, our board, special cases of this class, so here we go. First of all, as I have already mentioned, our classrooms are tight, and not to mention very, very hot throughout the entire year. Put 29 or 30 kids in a room with their coats and school bags, and there will be no room to move. We also have 2 handicapped children in this grade level, one of which is in an electric wheelchair that takes up extra space, and another one permanently on crutches. Try moving around a crowded room on these. Our school not only covers many neighborhoods, as well as 2 large apartment complexes that changes our numbers throughout the whole year. We at Hatfield, by far, have the largest number of ESL students in the district. They do go out to ESL classes. However, when they return to the regular class, they need the extra attention from the teacher. And putting them back into a large class is not only detrimental to them, but also to the other students in the class. We are also the 2nd highest school in the district that qualifies for Title I reading. I know 4th grade does not fall under Title I guidelines. However, we have many students in this grade level that benefited from this program in 1st and 2nd grade. And being put into a large classroom now, what happens to them? As district guidelines fall, This grade level has had 5 classes from kindergarten to 3rd grade and has been at the upper end of the maximum number of these classes all 4 years. Now cutting them to 4 classes just makes this all that much worse. As per district guidelines, we are entitled to an aide to travel between these 4 classrooms. One aide is not going to be beneficial with the changing to math classes as well as changing for music, art, and gym classes. How can this schedule permit one person to find quality time to help our children in any given day? We do not feel that one aide would be sufficient. We also would like to ask you, our school board, how you can justify 4 4th grade teachers in Knapp Elementary School with a total class size as of last week at 81, and in our school, 4 4th grade teachers with a total class size of 119. If you would cut Knapp School, let's just say, if you would cut Knapp School down to 3 teachers, they still would not be up to the size that we are currently at. We as parents have been very pleased with the top-notch quality education our children have received at the North Penn School District. But by overcrowding them now, as their education begins to get harder, what are we doing to them? Will they be getting the same quality of learning as in the past? We do not feel that they will. We do not feel that one aide will be acceptable at this point. We are asking for you, as our board, to consider either adding a new section or looking into aides for each classroom, and we feel time is of the essence. Thank you all for your time and your consideration on this matter. And I also do have extra copies of this if anyone would like them.
Sure.
Okay. I don't know that I think I'm short 1 or 2.
You know what, just give us one, we'll run them.
Oh, okay. At this time then, I'm not sure if anyone else, if I've missed anything. We've put a lot of time and work into trying to make sure that, as Dr. Veneman had asked for, that all the topics be covered with the special needs in our classes. And that's pretty much what most of us have come up with, unless someone has something else to add. Thank you.
Okay. Mrs. France, thank you very much. That was very well put, and I particularly appreciated some of the details that you gave to specifics, not only mentioning of the 2 handicapped children that are in the 4th grade that are, that add to your concerns, but also comparisons of other schools. In the past, we have allowed the administration to make recommendations to us. We gave them that 10th day enrollment portion that they have been able to work. That's been their point by which they evaluate everything at the beginning of the school year. And I don't know if you watched last year, but we had hot spots in the district last year. And this board, I think, did a very, very fine job, not only with providing the accommodations, but providing them quickly, and worked with the administration for the alleviation. So it won't be missed.
Okay.
Can I?
Yes.
Can I clarify the issue of what you just said about Knapp, and we have 84 at
Sure.
one school, and yet we won't do it at another?
Sure.
We have 81.
Right, wait a minute. Go ahead, Vince.
84 at 4th grade in Knapp.
She said 81, but now.
It's 84.
The new paper says 84.
116 is wrong too.
Okay.
They're not wrong, they're
But
changing
can I at
them.
least get clarification of that?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I can explain that. First of all, let me say that the chart that you have is, I think, dated the 31st
Yeah.
of August.
Of August, okay.
These change almost daily. I think the original sheet that I gave board members at the Educational Services meeting was August 26th. So we update this regularly. We don't have an update for the first day of school today, but we'll get one by the end of this week. So we'll have another update at that point. With respect to the Knapp situation, we discussed that when I met with the parents. I didn't know all the reasons for the original decision to create the number of sections that we had, but I do remember the discussion we had regarding redistricting and the fact that Knapp has some 335 housing start possibilities there. And when we discussed in May the number of sections that we wanted to put in Knapp, I don't remember what the number was at that time. I'm pretty sure it was closer to the cutoff point. And we made a judgment call at that point to assume that we would get more in the housing start situation. Now, I don't know whether that number has gone up or down since we made that decision, but at this point it's at 84. 87 would be the point at which we would add an aide at Knapp. We certainly intended to leave some cushion at some of at the schools that had the largest housing start
But
circumstance.
NAP has 4 sections, 4 teachers?
NAP has
For that
4
many?
with 84 students,
But that-
correct. So the average,
In 21. It certainly seems unfair to me. 20 in one class, one school, you go to another school where it's 30, 30, 30, and 29, versus 20, 20, 20, and 21.
I mean, as I
know what the
said,
rules are, but
that's
it's
the reason we did.
Not fair, it's not fair.
But I think you missed what he said, Frank, that if you remember during the redistricting, we were looking at housing starts, and NAP is one of the schools, along with Glen North, where most of the housing starts are going to be over the next couple of years.
We're
I
talking
mean,
about this
I mean,
year.
you want to get involved in a situation where you maybe you change the class sizes at NAP, and then you have to look at redistricting a couple of years down the road. I don't think you want to go through
We're
that
not
again.
talking that at all, we're talking about it right now.
Okay, folks, we're gonna give the administration till the 10th day, and then we'll start all this sort of talk right thereafter. We have
Donna,
a resident, I'm
be-
sorry.
Before we leave this subject, I assume it's gonna come back to us the next Thursday's meeting.
Right.
Would
Yes.
you please make sure that you give us a good evaluation of whether we have room for another classroom?
We do, there is.
I want that part of the presentation, though. Thank you.
Vicki?
If I'm not mistaken, what your point is on that, Frank, it's because there's 84 at 4 sections
Right.
regarding what we have 116. But if that were to be brought down to 3, it would have been 28
28.
students. And so it would have been close, I know what you're
Still not
saying,
that
close
hard.
to this, but there is Cambridge Knoll that's, I went by there just today after leaving NAP, and I was kind of surprised that they had a lot more houses up than I expected. So there is some new growth on top of it that is happening right there. But I did say, if that moved down to 3
Certainly not
sections, it would have been
36 more fourth
28,
grade.
29. If we're talking about taking a classroom, if I'm looking at this chart and it's correct for that school, it would mean Arnold and Clark, correct?
No,
Hatfield?
Hatfield has an extra classroom.
We have an extra-
Plainfield has
Yeah, but
Well, then,
an art
then
room
she
right
is
now,
wrong
they're
in
losing their
classrooms
art
also?
room.
Can
It
I
says
verify some
non-music.
things?
Okay, folks, wait a
Can I
minute.
verify some things?
One moment. Okay, members of the board, you are attempting to start homework now that needs to be provided by the administration.
Right, exactly.
We'll be back here next Thursday. Dr. Venema, you have to bring with you not only a recommendation next Thursday, but we want to have that day's count. It's not the 10th day, it's the 8th day, but can we have the 8th day count?
Well, we should be able to do that, yep.
Okay?
I'm sorry, this sheet was handed out, and it lists classrooms, and it says there's no art, no music room and one art.
Okay, but
So-
there's no decision going to be made tonight. Madam, I'm sorry. Your name, please.
Hi, I'm Beverly Fink from Providence Lane in Hatfield Township. I wanted to verify that we have 119 fourth graders in Hatfield today.
Oh,
How
We
many?
have 119 fourth graders today. That's today's number. How many kids were there today? We have an empty classroom, not an art room. We have a full art room. We have a full music room. We have an empty classroom. We don't want anybody to take anything away from NAP. We just want another teacher at our school. We would like everybody to have 21 kids in a classroom. So, but we do have an empty classroom, and I can have it ready in 10 minutes. There is also a serious problem with the size of the actual classrooms. Kids will be crawling over each other, and I worry for the 2 special needs children in those classrooms, especially the one on crutches.
Okay,
And
Mrs.
putting an
Fink,
8 in those classrooms would just be another body in there.
I just asked Dr. Hassler if he would come back for next Thursday, a recommendation and a response from Art Wood as it relates to facility.
Sure.
So when you say that square footage is in question or
It's
space
tight.
is in question, we have legal boundaries that we have to maintain, even when it includes special ed students who have a whole set of requirements separate from general population. So Art Wood or John
My
Strobel
only
will be here to
thought on
address
that
this.
is that all those requirements were made before our technology plan, and now we're installing extra tables in every classroom lined up with computers. That was never in the original plan of how many kids fit in this classroom.
Okay.
So now there's more computers in every classroom, which is wonderful. Now,
Yeah.
we just need to take that into account.
Very good point, and we need facilities to address it in public.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Fink. Anybody else, please?
Donna, I would like to verify that Bev would have that room ready in 10 minutes.
Okay, we got a confirmation, okay.
That's all we need to get.
Anybody else, please? Audience and citizens? Aha, go ahead.
New fourth graders.
I hope they're, go ahead.
Matt Casey, I live in North Wales.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to speak up, we can't hear you.
Too tall. I'm Matt Casey from North Wales.
Lauren Harris from Lansdale.
All right. Both Lauren and I are entering our senior years at North Penn High School, and for this upcoming year, we have been chosen to be the student school board liaisons.
Over the past couple of years, a tradition has been developed. More and more, the school board liaisons are playing a vital role in the communication between the activities that occur at North Penn High School and the North Penn School Board. Mac and I hope to work closely with Dr. Hassler and the rest of the board to assist the members in any way possible. We also will encourage any school-related suggestions and hope that the board will, in turn, be open to any thoughts that we may be able to bring to the table.
Thank you for our time tonight. Lauren and I greatly look forward to working with the board this upcoming year.
Okay. Dominique? Okay. Well, I was Frank. Frank, I've got it handled. Mr. Casey and Miss Harris, the first thing you can do is come up to the front. You have special seats. Come on up. In the front.
Next to the reporter.
No. At least a seat over. Okay, they have the books. Okay, right in the front. And now, if there's ever a member of the press in your way, let me tell you how you handle that. Excuse me, you're in my seat. That's all you have to do. And he's thank you for moving. And they understand that 2 seats up here are always for the student government representatives, and that any 2 they pick. Okay, even if they're all empty and he's sitting there, you may move him. Okay? Ms. Liberowski will take care of any accommodations that you need while you're here, and any specific paperwork or documents that you need that you weren't readily available to you, you make sure you get them from Ms. Liberowski. And I also think there's an incredible similarity between Ms. Liberowski and Ms. Harris. I have a feeling that Ms. Liberowski used to look like Ms. Harris in high school.
Oh, you haven't seen pictures.
No? Okay. Both of you welcome, and we're glad to have you. Okay? Any other members of the audience?
Yeah, we can find pictures.
Danielle Koski, Tomenson Township. Judging from remarks made later in the meeting after I spoke at the last board meeting, I think some remarks I made may have been misconstrued as to my intent. My concern with the hiring of board members, family members, is that I think it is just a poor policy that makes it awkward for fellow board members, administrators, and other employees working with those people. I did not in any way intend to imply that Mrs. Allen was anything less than qualified. I saw on the agenda that she has a degree from Gwinnett and the same qualifications as many of our other beginning teachers. My concern with her, and again, other board members' families on staff, is simply that I think it's an awkward policy and something I wish the board would refrain from and adopt a policy against. I have always been concerned with this matter, and particularly since 1989, when I must repeat again, a board member whose wife was a teacher broke a 5-4 vote for what I regard as a horrendous policy, a horrendous contract with the teachers union that gave some teachers over 4 years 70% salary increases. And in my opinion, that board member voted more of his own pocketbook and his wife's than the good of the taxpayers and the other residents and children of the district. I remain concerned as well with some of our other personnel matters. It seems lately we've had a number of hiring fiascos, the latest being our finance director. And I have to wonder at the salaries we're paying, how we keep running into these situations. And unfortunately, it's far from the first in North Penn. And I would think with the amounts of salaries we're paying, and in this case, I believe it was $97,000, we should be able to do better. And I don't know if the problem is the people doing the hiring being unqualified, if we're not advertising in the right places or what, but as a taxpayer, I'm very concerned with these continuous personnel problems, and in some cases, the hiring in the last few years of people that, in my opinion, from the information that has been given to the public, are frankly unqualified for the salaries they are being given. In another matter, I have an article here that was in the Inquirer a few weeks ago regarding a school district in Berkeley, California, that wherever possible is mandating pesticide-free, herbicide-free, and synthetic fertilizer-free food for students in the school cafeterias. They're also storing organic vegetable gardens in the schools with the children participating. And I would strongly recommend that North Penn look into doing something like this, at least on an experimental basis. And I'll leave this with Christine to distribute to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Superintendent.
Okay, Superintendent's report. I recommend approval of contract with Northwestern Human Services of Montgomery County for 2 drug and alcohol specialists in the amount of $63,250 paid through the Drug-Free Schools Grant for the 99-2000 school year.
Motion by Prokowski, second by O'Donnell. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
At the committee meeting, I mentioned to Lou that since we have not had perfect acclamations or whatever regarding Northwestern, perfect service, that we should put in writing to the county, since they are referred to us by the county. We should put in writing to the county where we stand, what has happened in the past, and we can even include what they have attempted to do to remedy it. And then at the end of the year, when we go back to the county, if things have not improved, that we have something to stand on, because the county's going to say, well, let's give them a year to fix it. I want that year to be this school year, not this year and next year.
Right.
So I just want that in writing, and provided it's in writing, you have my full support.
I think you said the county requires a year.
The county's going to say back to us, well, we'll give them a year to fix it. And I want that year to be this year. Northwestern knows the problems. They've already addressed it. Let's see if how they address that worked. And we'll know that by the end of the year, based on their response to the different situations that come. So I want that year, when they say to go back and give them a year, I want that to say, we already did give them a year.
Okay.
We want somebody else.
Okay, that's your
Yeah.
recommendation. Is that something, okay, Lou, is that something that's already worded in the contract?
That they're going to change what they're doing?
No, that this is the year
No, it's
in
not.
review.
What contract are we talking
not a
about? We do not have a contract with
Okay,
these
what-
people, and we are not approving a contract. Why is it written that we're approving a contract? We have not seen this contract. This service is provided through the Montgomery County IU as a service to this district.
No, the Montgomery County.
Or Montgomery County, I'm
Mental
sorry.
health, yeah.
Okay.
We are not approving a contract, yet it's written on here as a motion.
There's two separate things. Let me try
Go ahead.
and clarify. And both of these kind of weave themselves together, but SAP, the Students Assistance Program,
Yes.
is provided through mental health, and that's, the base service unit is Northwestern, okay? So they do the evaluations for that. The drug and alcohol counselors are someone that we do hire in contract, and that is also through Northwestern. I think, as I understand Terry correctly, she's concerned with the SAP evaluations in that process. To make sure, and the issue is getting back timely feedback to the district, so that if we are contacted by a parent, that we can tell the parent what we understand and then refer them back and refer them.
Not just timely feedback,
But within a
catch
certain.
the kids before
yeah,
they go through.
Within a certain amount of time. And to try and identify students is something we constantly do. We do have SAP trainings, we have retrainings, so that is all part of it.
Now, we have a contract for the drug and alcohol counselor.
That's correct.
Why weren't we given that at the meeting? At the Educational Services Center. That came up directly as an issue that we wanted to
Given
discuss.
the exact contract?
Yeah, don't we have, I mean, has it been forwarded to our solicitor? Do we know what the responsibilities are?
No, we've not done that in the
Is
past.
it something we've just, I know we've not.
Yeah,
We weren't
I just
aware
was
of
following,
this contract.
I was following past practice, Vince.
Well, can we at least get a copy of that forwarded to our solicitor?
Certainly.
In case there's something we don't like about
This
it?
should be bold.
Well, then we don't want to approve it.
This should be bolded.
We pulled it already once.
Well, you got to pull it again until
Pending. Back
solicitor
next
reviews the
week.
contract.
Pending solicitor approval. Any
Can
approval?
I just ask that you add to the motion, subject to the review of the
All right,
of
so
the district
that's
solicitor?
fine. I want to slow it down.
You do that, you can approve it tonight, and then I'll review it. If you give me a copy tonight, I'll review
Yeah,
it.
what happens if you find something wrong with it then?
Comes back next Thursday.
It's been approved subject to my review.
It won't be executed until afterwards.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, Terry, does that answer your question?
No.
No, go ahead.
Lou, would you put that in writing,
If that's,
knowing my concern?
if that's the direction of the board, certainly we'll do that.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Then we'll do it.
Thank you.
Feel better?
Yes.
Cool. Anybody else around?
So we
Yeah, I
just,
still
me to reread
want to be
this?
Wait
clear
a
on
minute.
this.
I need to amend.
The
we
guidance
need to-
council-
Wait, Vicki, I'm trying to get around this way.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Let's
You
amend the
call me.
motion so everybody knows what we're talking about. That it's on review, pending or approval
Subject-
or review of our solicitor.
Subject to review by.
Subject to
All right,
review
well,
of
whoever made the
solicitor.
motion and the secretary do it.
Right,
Amend the motion?
yeah, you amend your motion, and the second was O'Donnell, you amend the second. All right. Any other
done.
questions this side,
No, that was
Brown,
it.
Vicki?
Lou, if I'm understanding you correctly, the portion that's on this agenda isn't the SAP program, it's the council,
That's correct.
correct, which is attached to that contract.
That's correct.
Is the money, the grant money, coming into us
Yes.
as the LEA?
Yes.
So it is our money. We've gotten mixed impressions here as to what was involved from that memo, because one said that we needed to use Northwestern because this is the designated person by the county, but yet the very motion that we're talking about really is one that's fully under our control. It's our grant and
It's our
money,
grant,
and
we can
the
decide to
county
use
doesn't
it.
really have a role in this.
That's correct, for the drug and alcohol, and we can.
Two parts.
there's-
I'm talking about part one, you're talking about part two?
Maybe so, but it's part two that's on the agenda, not part one. What you're talking about with SAP is
There's
what's
two parts on the agenda, I think.
not,
No.
the 63,000.
No, wait a minute, Vicki, I can clarify this. At
Has
our
nothing to
Educational
do with it,
Services
has the
Committee, we dealt
councils.
with both issues.
Right.
The issue of the student assistance program and the drug and alcohol specialist as part of the discussion. These are separate issues. We had them blended together because we were told that they were blended together. At that meeting, we separated them, we knew the difference. My only concern was, I specifically asked it if we had a contract with somebody, and they said no.
Terry's concerned about
we
this
do.
Now we
language
do.
for the
But that's a
SAP
separate issue.
program.
Maybe
Okay.
we're talking about something else.
You said to me, Bob, that this is the same as it was.
My
Right?
understanding.
So that means it's both?
No,
Start over.
No.
the only thing, we have used our drug-free money to pay for the 2 drug and alcohol counselors. That is what the districts throughout the county are doing. The SAP program, which is a referral program, which is, a student is assessed, and then that counselor works with the parents to find a agency or counselor within the community that they can work with to help remedy whatever the issues may be. That SAP portion of it is provided through the county mental health, and they use the base service unit. We are not paying for the SAP portion, the evaluation portion of the program.
never do.
Never have,
Right.
that's correct.
What's
This
the
is.
pay?
This is for the drug and alcohol specialists who are in our buildings that run groups for our students, that we get permission from parents for the students to participate in. And we use our drug and alcohol, our drug-free monies, our drug-free schools grant to pay for that, those.
Then this
so-
is only that second part that Vicki is talking about.
Right.
Right,
Yes.
not your SAP
That we're
program,
approving.
Not
but
the
the
SAP
language that
program.
you
We're not
want added
approving the
isn't
SAP
even
program.
ours, it's the county.
Well, I think what I understand, what Frank said was he would review what the contract is from Northwestern for this, and pending his approval, that's the way the motion is written now, correct?
But Terry wanted the
Then
SAP program.
The
though.
Okay, wait a
letter,
minute. Vicki,
the letter that I'm talking about is a totally different issue.
It addresses the SAP program, correct?
Yes.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay.
We didn't.
No, I did.
all right, Terry, you all right?
I think so, I'm not
Vicky?
sure anymore.
At least we know.
Do we
We'll
need
get you a copy of the
change?
letter.
What?
We'll get you a copy of that.
Thank
letter.
you.
Okay,
No more.
Bill, John, was there anything on your side?
Nothing.
Okay. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you.
Recommend approval of waiver of tuition for the following international exchange students for the 99-2000 school year: Redigio Beraldi, AFS Brazil, and Julian Lopez, Columbia Rotary.
So moved. Second.
Motion by O'Donnell, second by Mosey. Other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you.
C, recommend approval of purchases for Phase 2 of the technology plan.
So moved.
Motion by Allen,
Second.
second by Schilling. Any questions starting right?
Yes.
Right.
Right, we gotta wait.
Please.
I'd like to see further follow-up on the warranty issue.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
It's still
So we
listed.
have it.
That's
No,
what we
it's
have
still in here.
on the back of
I
the
mean,
packet.
and I would also
Still in
ask
here.
that someone pull that video that was made before this board in a joint committee of technology, curriculum, and finance. I sat through several presentations by the representatives from Compact regarding what the benefits and financial advantages were, et cetera, of the leasing program as opposed to purchases. And while we didn't have any tape made of presentation of finance, I know it was emphasized, I believe, at each time it was brought before us, the savings that we would have in the warranty and cost by using leased equipment that was already under guarantee without additional cost. I'd just like to see some follow-up and see what kind of strength we have to recover any funds that have been directed to an expense that we were told was a natural part of the agreement.
Yeah, if I remember that, when they made their presentation, any presentation, extended warranty was never discussed.
Well, I believe it was also implied that it was not, it was included, that that was automatically maintenance for this, replacement for the equipment that went down, et cetera, was.
Can I help with this a minute?
Was within the lease.
Yeah, we'll bring it around. Bill? Go
As
ahead.
far as the warranty issue, if I understand it, what we discussed or heard at the committee meeting, when you lease any piece of equipment, part of the cost is warranty work that the company expects to have to perform. They don't list it as a separate item, but the money's in there somewhere. As I understand, what we were told was with the way Compact has changed their billing, they have broken the warranty part out of the total cost. So instead of just giving one lump sum, they said equipment is X number of dollars. The warranty on that, which is Y number of dollars, still comes out to the same total dollars that we were paying before. They're listing it as a separate item. Now, one of the things we talked about was, would it be better for us to take certain items and instead of see if we could not purchase the warranty part, but take that money and buy extra equipment for storage. For instance, if we saw that we were paying $20,000 in monitor warranty for what we were buying, did we in fact want to say, well, let's instead purchase $20,000 worth of extra monitors, so at least we have something physical with our money and not just a warranty, and it's a little bit of a gamble. And I don't know if that was looked into, and but
I guess it's.
we asked Debbie Klein to look into it, and from that, I don't know what.
I wondered how. it
But
became
that's
so-
why we're seeing warranty as a separate item. It's just a different way of billing.
Okay, let's bring it around. Vince?
In the back of that packet is the memo from Debbie Klein doing the analysis that the committee asked her to do, which was the cost benefits for replacement of the monitors. There, she got data from the company which services our equipment that shows a 6 to 10% failure history over 3 years. The difficulty we faced with that recommendation was that the cost of the warranty is 20%. So if a failure rate is between 6 and 10%, obviously we're paying a lot more for an extended warranty on an item that's, we're not projecting it to fail. So the question was, can we take that 6 to 10%, take the difference, and how many monitors will that buy us? over and above what we would already have invested.
I think that
We have that cost analysis done, she's done it. Debbie Klein recommends that if we can find the space to put some of this equipment, she recommends that we do that, because it is more cost effective to lease additional equipment to cover the loss factor. And still make out. Now, I should preference that this entire issue this year is $28,000, $9,500 of it this year. So the question is, can we, for $14,000, find a place to store this equipment? And do you think it's worth her people to follow up and maintain it, warehouse it, inventory, whatever else is associated with collecting it? That's the issue on the floor.
Do we have an option, though, of dropping the remaining 2 years? In other words, we took in a big bulk of our equipment last year, the first year of the plan.
And the way it was explained to me, and
more
Debbie's
money?
here, so we should find her. She could tell us, she's standing sitting
Debbie,
back
come
there.
on up to the
She could
microphone.
possibly expand on this. What we were told, when we made the original purchase, the warranty and all the things were included in the package. Now, all of a sudden, they come back to us, instead of lowering the price, they're breaking out all the different things that are associated with this purchase. Including now, we have to purchase a warranty, for which they used to give us in the package price.
Right.
I don't know if it's a difference to anybody, but obviously in the last 2 years, equipment prices have gone down. We know that everywhere. So the question to us is, if you give her approval to find the space, it's cost effective to lease the additionals and drop the warranty.
Okay, Debbie, do you want to address some of this? Help us on
As I understood it, there was 2 questions, and the first one, Mr. Allen, you answered. Why the warranty, why you're seeing an extended warranty, and are we paying for something, excuse me, more than we did in the past? And that's not the case at all. That's not a misrepresentation of when the people were out from the leasing company. What we're doing is, of course, pricing has changed, but last year when we purchased a $1,300 machine, Compact just had one line item. You bought that machine. That came with 3-year warranty and the monitor and CPU and everything. This year, they've unbundled it, so you can select that. So that same $1,300 machine just shows up as 4 different line items, one of which is that extended warranty. So that's the one question, I think. Does that answer that one? And then the second question was just what you answered was, okay, now knowing that and looking at the cost that we are paying for the computer and the monitor, is it more cost effective? I think the committee didn't ask me to look at the CPU because that made sense, but look at the cost of the warranty on the monitor and do just that. Was it be more cost effective to continue pay the warranty cost or to store them? And then as the monitors fail, just replace them with one out of storage.
No storage.
And my recommendation was, as you stated, that yes, I would recommend that we do that if we could find the space and the board would approve of that.
I have 2 questions for you, Debbie. Number 1, how many monitors would you recommend that we purchase and store?
I would say we'd start with
Compact was supposed to be the best on the market. Now we're looking at a failure rate of 6 to 10%.
Well, that's monitors across the board.
Over
That's
3
just the
years.
nature of the
3
beast.
years.
But
Okay.
I guess what I would recommend is like purchase 20 initially, and then I can purchase more later. But starting with 20 would help make it more manageable.
All right, and the second question I have is, you're saying that the Compact is now breaking that $1,300 figure out.
Right.
And they're showing what each. You mean to tell me that we were automatically getting hit with an extended warranty in the $1,300 package, and if we didn't take the extended warranty, there wasn't any warranty in this equipment at all?
No. What we're paying for is 3-year warranty on the equipment, which was
okay.
important to me
Okay.
because we're leasing the equipment
So
for 3
you're
years.
saying that if we decided to, you're saying it makes sense because if we decided to purchase at the end of 3 years, we would have the extended warranty?
Extended warranty only, it depends on where you start from. We're starting from a
guess-
ground up. There's a 1 year with the equipment, the product that you saw.
Right.
There is a 1 year warranty.
So
After 1 year, it's called an extended warranty.
So we would have to buy the extended warranty for the remaining 2 years
Exactly.
of the lease?
Exactly, which is what we did last year. It was just bundled in the product.
Makes sense. I mean, I just bought a $30,000, well, didn't I? At least a $30,000 car, bumper to bumper, 30,000 mile warranty. I didn't have to buy an extended warranty.
Right, because it
Now,
was.
you're saying with the computers, it's not that way. We have a 1-year warranty on the computers we're leasing for 3 years, and if we want a warranty for the additional 2 years, we have to pay the extended warranty. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah, that's the other part.
My question, though, regarding
Jeez.
the other 2 years, could she address that, though?
Go
Because
ahead.
that was the other question. In other words, you've just explained even further that the first year
It's under-
of last year's equipment, our purchases were a part of it.
Last year's equipment is covered for 3 years. That was
Yeah.
part of the cost of the equipment.
Right, but do we have the option, now that we find that there were these bundled expenses attached to it, do we have an option here to rethink that and remove the 2-year extended warranty that's been attached to that?
For last year's
That's where the
purchase,
big money.
for last year's purchases, no, because they were bundled into one product.
And no one ever told us.
No, we were never told.
They didn't break it out.
They didn't break it out.
Not that we told them. They didn't.
I know.
Maybe
that-
we
that
didn't
was-
ask the right
They
question.
didn't tell us.
That's fine.
We didn't ask. Buyer beware, I guess.
Okay,
And that was one of the
thanks.
requirements of the purchases, that everything I look for is warranted for 3 years. So that was a requirement we looked for, actually.
I just wondered.
Is that it?
Thank you.
Yes.
I have a question not regarding warranties, so why wait till we have questions on the motion?
Here, let's clear up the warranty thing first.
Right.
Okay. Mine is not-
The other issue, you just asked for roughly 3%, 20 pieces. I don't want to add into this yet, but I really would like to see you bring that back. We have about a year under our belt of the existing equipment. Can you verify their numbers,
And that was based on, I looked.
their information?
Yes.
That was
I
based
say,
on the failure rate of
no.
the first year.
I'd like to see those, I'd make a motion for them to amend their motion to strike the extended warranty purchase on this list.
Yeah, because
On-
it's
for
still
the
on,
monitors.
it's still on here. It's still in here.
Yeah, it's still a part of that motion.
Still part of the motion.
Okay, Ms. Liberowski, who gave me the motion in a second?
Allen and then Schilling.
Allen and Schilling. Okay, Mr. Allen, are you willing to amend your motion?
I'm not sure what you're asking to amend it to.
Vince?
To delete the extended warranty cost of that motion for the
only
monitors, only monitors.
Do we have that in this approval?
It's on the sheets that you have.
It's on here.
It was the prior
It's on
one.
the sheets that
from
you
June.
handed out.
There's still one from June, right?
Yeah, but it's not a
630
new one.
monitors.
Yeah, but as I explained, you did approve, we did purchases in July. And some of those extended warranties were part of those purchases in July. What we would need to do is go back, and I think Deb's been already in contact with the company, and see if we can undo that we've done in July. What you got last at the last board meeting was actually a compilation of everything you approved in phase 2 up to July. So part of what you're talking about is, we've already approved.
Okay.
But Deb's talked to the representative, and there is a way to, I guess, go back and undo
Right,
that.
I've talked to them. They will take the warranties back at this point.
We
So
just have to
Mr.
check some
Sowers
work
is
with-
helping me work with the finance
lease.
to make that.
So we would need to come back to you with what we find out and where we're at with that.
So what do we do?
Is there anything on this recommendation tonight, Deb, that has the extended warranty in it?
No.
On BA-3? No.
But it says it right
The
here.
copy I have, it says
Copy I have
15-inch
has
monitor,
too.
215, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you're looking at the total list, of everything that we've purchased this year and what Deb is proposing
okay.
for the purchase.
So I should only be involved with what, the first page here?
If you just look at BA-3, BA-3 in the board agenda,
I'm sorry.
well, no, this was a mix-up on our part last time. We gave you everything, all the detail of everything we purchased.
BA-3.
That's this one sheet, right?
Yes.
Ms. Liberowski, give a copy of that to.
Oh, I got it, I'm sorry. I have it.
Ms.
Thank
Conlon,
you.
she's standing there.
And Deb
She
is
sees
saying,
what-
nothing in
You have it?
BA-3 has an extended warranty in it.
So this motion is, we're only
Right.
approving this tonight, this
Right.
motion.
Right.
Okay, one other question, if I may, Madam
Sure.
President. I see the total cost of $208,000, and then I see a cost of $99,200 to $68,000. They're two separate figures, Deb?
What was the other figure you're looking at?
I see
the
total
208.
cost $208,119, and then I see a column 99,200 cost
Yes.
$68,340. I thought we were approving the 99,200.
Exactly. The total cost just shows you what your investment is over the 3 years. The 99,200 cost is just what we'll be paying this year. Those lease
68,000 we'll be
payments
paying this year, the
for this
208 is 3 year.
is our 3-year commitment.
Thank you.
The reason why we have confusion is, we are given two different purchases. One is July's the due, and one is September.
Right.
And that's why everybody has confusion.
Right.
We're getting double information. On top of that, the detail I'm given has the warranty in
Right.
to it.
I'm trying.
So, you know, as long as we're all clear, we don't want the extended warranty. We shouldn't have a problem with this.
I just want to make sure what we're proving.
But that's what it is. You have 5 different pieces of paper
I
that do
do.
the same thing.
I do.
And they're all different.
Yes.
Okay, is everybody all right? All questions answered?
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Marks.
Thank you, Debbie.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you.
Waiting for me.
Oh, just one thing, one thing. When this goes back to the company, you're taking Jim Sowers with you to help with that?
And any
Mrs. Klein?
representative of involved.
When this goes back to discuss the previous piece, the warranty with the company, you're going to have Jim Sowers working on that with you?
Yes.
All right, squeeze them, Jim. Go ahead.
Okay, D. Recommend approval to apply for a competitive Safe Schools Initiative grant in the amount not to exceed $200,000.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mosey, second by Burkowski. Questions? This way.
Just like to point out that this is a new grant. I talked to Dr. Rosnick earlier. This is a new grant, and I'm glad to see that we're going after some grants that have been lying out there that we haven't been in the past. Thank you.
Okay, the author of the grant is who, Dr. Hassel?
Mr. Rosnick
Okay.
will pull all the information.
All right, you're gonna get one of those little pins like Vince got. Maybe for $200,000, there might be a bigger pin, you know?
I have a comment.
A comment, go ahead. Mr. Hill.
I thought we were going around this way.
We are.
Oh, you had a
No, we're
question?
going- You had a
Come this
question. You went out of turn.
Sorry.
All right, go ahead, Terry.
Lou, I just wanted to, I too am glad that we're applying for it, and have you pulled your committee together?
Yes,
Have you had a
we've already
committee
had a meeting on Friday before
Good.
Labor Day. We involved district staff, administrators, principals. Mr. Jordan was there as representing the teachers, and we had several community members there also.
Good.
Any board members?
No, we didn't.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah, I know.
Don't do that again. Who would you like to take with you?
I'll take all of you.
No, you don't really mean that, you're just trying to make up. Would you take Mr. Shapinsky with you?
Certainly.
I nominate Don.
No.
I've been on that committee.
No.
I like warm and fuzzy committees.
Go ahead. It's not a warm and fuzzy.
This is not a warm and
This is a
fuzzy
warm and fuzzy
committee.
committee,
Okay.
as do kids.
Are we going around?
Was a
Frank?
tough one.
No, I don't have any questions regarding this one. I have one question regarding the computer problem, but move on.
Around? Mr. Hill?
The only question I have relative to the grant is like most of these grants, is that however it's worded, however successful we are at it, it's to do a one-time thing. It's not a, I hate to see these grants, we start something, and then the costs come back to the district the following year for another $200,000. And, but for the grant, to do a one-time thing, you know, whether it be TV equipment or whatever that one time is, that's understandable, but just be careful how we word the grant, doesn't grow on us.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you want to address that, Ron?
Yeah, that's one of the issues that we're concerned about, because you mentioned TVs and monitoring, and then do you need somebody there to monitor the TV cameras while they're in use? And we're sure we can cover it through this year, but there's no guarantee that this grant will be continued. So we're being very careful as to what we're applying for. And really, we want to emphasize the idea of prevention of violence, so to do more training of staff is where our focus is. And when I say staff, I mean everybody, teachers, principals, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, and that's really where we're focusing, so we can maybe hit it from that respect.
Stay tuned, there'll be 2 assignments tonight for special assignments under task force that are going to come up later in the evening, and this work will go under that committee, or that group. Around this way? Nothing? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Oh, you're big. Go
Okay,
ahead.
under personnel, before we do nominations, if you turn to BA-4A, we're pulling item number 2 under professional nominations. Provide some additional information for next week's agenda. So I move nominations as listed.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Schilling, second by O'Donnell. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you.
B, move resignations.
So moved. Second.
Motion from Schilling, second by
Second.
Sherpinski. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you.
I'll amend my I will recommend position changes rather than moving.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Prokowski, a second by Allen, maybe?
Yeah, that would be great.
That'll work? Okay. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you.
Each recommend change of effective date of leave of absence.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mosey, second by Sherpinski. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you.
Number 2, recommend approval of Brenda Dickerson as interim assistant principal at North Penn High School at a per diem rate of $340 per day, effective September 8, 1999.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mosey, second by Allen. Any questions? All in favor,
Just
say
welcome
aye.
Mrs. Dickerson back.
Go, Brenda.
Hope she had a nice retirement.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you.
3, recommend ratification of the addition of Aaron Crew, $5.50 per hour to the summer custodial maintenance crew, effective August 10th, 1999.
So moved.
Motion by Mosey, second by O'Donnell. Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you.
4, recommend approval to restructure middle school extra duty music positions.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, I'm sorry. Motion by Schilling? Motion by Allen, second by Schilling?
You got it.
Okay, any questions?
Yes,
Yes.
I appreciate, I guess this is we're talking about the recommendation, Dr. Venema, you brought through with the band.
Yes.
Have we gone,
Right there, right?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
did I miss something?
We're moving too fast for Don.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was
Done.
one behind. Go ahead.
You mentioned your memo that have we gone outside to try to,
Yes.
we have?
Yes, in fact, most of the people that fill these positions are from the outside.
And because it's not a year, because it's a year-long position, it's because that's we're having a lack of interest.
Right, it's a lot of commitment for the amount
short
of time we
period of
put
time.
in, and we feel this structure will attract more candidates and work much better for us. At the same time, it's not gonna cost anymore.
Okay, you talk about it not costing us any more.
Correct.
Because we would be reducing it from a year-long position to a seasonal position.
No.
Could we reduce the salaries then?
The primary reason, if you look at the memo there, or the green sheet, the primary reason is that the group number specifies the salary. So if
Oh,
you add up
okay.
the total group, the number has not changed. What we've done is really compress it. We had 7 positions listed before, we now have 5, but the responsibilities are more condensed and then they're going to be seasonal. We accomplished the same thing for the same amount, but a more attractive position to people that we want to do it.
So what you're saying is, with a year-long workload, they had more time, and because they're going to be compressing and make it seasonal, they're going to earn their money.
Well, I think they.
But they'll get more.
No, I didn't say that exactly.
Well, I'm saying, I mean, instead of having 9 months, you're now going to have 4 months to do what you did in 9
No,
months.
Pat, they had different
No,
jobs.
right.
And different
They would do
functions.
band front in the fall and.
That's right.
What do they call it? Indoor
Indoor
guard
guard.
in the winter.
Okay.
One person, one job.
Right.
Okay.
Now they're saying one person will do the band in the fall, a separate second person will do the indoor guard.
Right.
And what they're doing is they took the salary and prorated it for each one.
I got you, okay, that's what I was trying
We're
to
getting the
find.
same amount of work done for the same.
Okay, all right.
Piddly pay.
All
And it
right.
could also be the same people doing both, it just
Yeah.
gives you the flexibility.
Exactly.
I understand there are people.
It was the
I'm
same
sorry.
way you broke down the
I wasted too
athletic,
much
the
time over
athletic
that.
trainers over 3
Right.
sports
Like
seasons.
somewhere
Correct, that's a good analogy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you.
Number 5, recommend approval of additions to the professional and support staff substitute list for the 99-2000 school year.
Second.
Motion by Schilling, second by Burkowski. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you.
Number 6, recommend approval of technology trainers and salaries as listed.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
by Allen, second by Burkowski. Questions to the right? Around?
I do.
I have a question on that back one. Just quickly here, please. I wanted to ask our solicitor, when we just did that, there's no salaries on the page of those substitutes. BA 5.
Substitute pay is set by policy, isn't
We do have,
it? Set by policy, substitute pay?
depends on whether they're going long-term sub, I don't know. I don't know. That's
These
what
aren't
I'm-
long-term subs, these are
Just on the
day-to-day subs.
substitute list. The approved.
Yeah, we're just
Adding, but I
adding them to
thought
the
usually
list.
the agenda would
We don't-
still
no, we
designate
don't.
what that would be.
No, we never.
We would never have it blank.
We never put money if we're just adding them to the list.
Paid a
Not signed.
specified amount. Okay, it's already existing in
Yeah.
the contract.
All right,
Is it okay?
if the amount is already
Not
existing,
contract.
if the amount is already existing, has already been approved by the board, it's all right then to just subsequently approve the names without relisting the same number you had previously.
There's no contract for these.
No.
There's
No
on the
contract.
list, right? There's different rates. There can be different rates.
Not for a person that's a math teacher, though. There's not different rates within a math teacher.
Okay, if you're saying the secretary, special ed assistant, library assistant thing has one X rate,
If you have previously approved rates for given classifications, and now you are merely listing the names of employees within those classifications, then it is not necessary to once again have the same information contained with respect to the dollar amounts. If it's other than that, if there is some ambiguity with respect to the amount that they're going to be paid, then it should be listed again.
and I would have a hard time with one that says secretary, special ed assistant, library assistant, if there's any ones that
If the
had a
person,
set rate.
That person can do all those things and will be paid the rate of what job they're asked to do.
That's correct.
We have already set.
That's correct. There is a substitute rate that has been
Yeah.
set.
And they're all the same, no matter which one it is.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right, are we okay, folks?
Just wanted to be
Yes.
sure.
We're back to technology trainers and their salaries. Any other questions? Around this way?
I have to ask Mr. Sierpinski, and I apologize for taking the board's time, but I could not make the educational services meeting last week. I had a personal problem. But I still do not recall where we were going to use, chairpersons' salaries or whatever to establish these I went back through all the notes and memos I have concerning the technology plans, and I have 3 files, to be honest with you. And I could not find where we talked about, paying people $1,800 and $1,600 and $2,000 a year to be technology trainers. Now, again, I apologize and beg the board's indulgence because I didn't make the committee meeting. Could you explain to me what I missed, or am I looking this with a jaundiced eye, or just where the problem is here?
Well, first off, 2 separate issues. I'll address the second one first. I also have huge files on this stuff, and no, there was never a dollar amount attributed to any of these trainers.
I feel
This
better
was
in
a
that
new
regard.
figure that was developed by the administration, not the committee. We did talk about the positions, what they were going to do, the responsibilities, but we didn't ever talk about pay because we, quite frankly, didn't have it last year. How this formula came about, I guess Dr. Venema can handle this better.
Well, I can
Explain
handle part of it
exactly how it
anyway.
came forward.
Debbie, you might want to give some more detail, but
We did have-
let me start by saying we did have these positions in existence last year. We've added 2 positions because we're in phase 2. There is a formula that we put together to help define how much each teacher would be paid for this responsibility. It's related to the number of staff members that they work with, I believe, Debbie?
Right.
Maybe you can add to
Right,
the
and I
detail.
can add to it, it was part of the plan though, the original technology plan, and I can show you where it's listed in there.
Did we approve the formula to set this salary? I mean, I know we go through it same.
I went through every agenda.
No, I couldn't
None of these
find it.
people on any agendas.
I can't tell you
They're-
that.
They're not broken out separately. If it was part of the original plan, then it was one piece and 16 pages of stuff.
I know
I
for
think it was
extra
part of
duty,
the
we have a
plan.
formula under
Right.
under
Those things go
extracurricular
back to
activities.
committee.
There's a formula we follow. Is there a set
Right.
formula approved by the board that drives this?
I don't know the nature of when it was approved. I think it all happened when the tech plan was approved. It was part of the plan. Whether the specific formula for calculating the dollar amount was approved, I couldn't answer.
I couldn't find it in my file.
Do you recall, Debbie?
The formula? No, I
Yes.
don't remember presenting that separately. It was just
Part
the
of-
dollar amount.
Was
part
this
of the
part of the
plan.
$336,000 that you had projected for employees and, the personnel portion of the tech plan?
No, it was under staff development. If you go back to that, that may be where you're missing it in the plan. If you go back to staff development, look at the detail, you'll see it listed out there.
The biggest problem I have with this, Madam President, is that we know that the staff development is a figure that keeps moving every year, and it becomes more expensive and more costly. I really wish that when I served on both the Technology Committee and I served on the Educational Services Committee,
that this formula has been brought forward, so we would have had an idea as to what administration was doing and how they were going to set these different pay guidelines up. I'm almost looking at it that, paying somebody, $2,000, $2,100 a year, whatever, 2 years down the road, that could be a $4,000 or $5,000 figure. I just would like to.
We would bring it back every year if we
Well,
were
I
going
know,
to increase
but
it.
you've already established the formula without anybody on the board knowing what the formula was going to be. And I think that we should have had some input into how, don't you think, Vince, am I wrong? I think we should have had some idea as to how you were going to compensate these people.
And I can
We
go
went
back
through
and
job
show you the
descriptions
page in the
and
technology plan, but it is listed there. There's a base stipend that
Okay.
we were proposing, and then $25 per teacher
teacher
that they were
person.
responsible for. So with the
Okay.
difference you see in phase one, an elementary
Okay.
school tech trainer may only have 8 teachers, where in the second year now they have 16 because we've added on phase 2 teachers.
Missing from here is how much time they put into being a trainer.
Right.
I mean, what does this
Right.
come down to an hour?
Right.
I know that under extra duty for
About
X number.
22 cents an hour probably.
Well, and that.
Seriously.
That's fine, and it doesn't make me feel bad for them, because it's the same thing with our coaches.
Yep.
We know if you take, you take the swim coach, male or female, we know so many practices a week, so many meets in a season, and a state championship to boot. And for all that, we know we're gonna pay Mr. and Mrs. this and that, X number of dollars. And it comes out to a nickel an hour, but we know it was a nickel an hour. And just because this might not come out to some sort of hourly amount that is, gonna make anybody, throw a tantrum, I still wanna know, when does this happen? Is this double dipping? Is this training being done on time we're already paid
No.
for?
And maybe I can answer your question.
Wait a minute, and from the committee, we can forward you the job description of what the trainers do, and all their responsibilities and their daily responsibilities, weekly, everything we've done with training, staff development, and everything. We can forward that information.
And when they train?
We do have it.
And when they train?
We do have it.
And when?
But if you're gonna try to assign an hourly thing to these, or
Okay.
an hourly facet to the job, I think that's gonna be a little difficult, because these
Okay.
people are basically on call when something goes, or when they need to train, whatever they do. I mean, I don't know if you can really develop an hourly schedule for these.
Maybe a way to explain it too is they are our complete staff development
That's our piece.
structure.
Yeah.
We have one person that coordinates this staff development effort for 800 and some teachers, 1,600 employees, and these are the folks that make it happen. We don't pay outside people to come in and train and work with our teaching staff.
Mr. Shapinsky, are you comfortable with this tonight as it is, or does
Yes.
it need more
Yeah.
information?
No, we can forward that information for those who want it, but it's not gonna change what's going on, what they're doing.
Okay.
That's
Any
all
other
right.
questions this side?
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes?
So for those who would want it, I'd be most interested, I'm particularly interested as to when they're able to deliver this. Because otherwise, all the rest of our teachers, the ones that they're teaching, are following
Right.
their work hours, and
These
the
are-
people that are doing the training are on those same work hours.
Right.
So I'm having a hard time finding when that supplemental time is really occurring. Because they've got to be doing it within the work schedule of their coworkers for the training. So Vince, when you're pulling that together, I'm one of those who's interested to see how this is being implemented.
No problem.
And additional hours. Thanks.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you.
Okay, when we went through the personnel and the recommendations, I missed the addendums because I thought it was number 7, and the wrong number 7. Anyway, it should read, recommend additional approval of resignations as per the addendum to the action agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mosey, second by Shapinsky. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. Okay, under other business, one moment, let me. Okay, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this evening I will be appointing a task force to research the accruals of sick time and vacation time practices in the North Penn School District. The task force will be made up of 2 school board liaisons and 6 district employees to be named by me with consultation with Dr. Hassler. The board members to this committee would be Mrs. Sharp will lead, and Mr. Shapinsky will assist on that assignment. I need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Motion by Mosey, second by O'Donnell. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. Also, I will be appointing a task force to research school security issues in the North Penn School District. The task force will be made up of 2 school board liaisons and 6 district employees to be named by me in consultation with Dr. Hassler. The leadership on this committee will be headed up by Vince Sierpinski, and assisting him will be Mr. Mosey. I need a motion to approve. Motion by Schilling, second by Perkins. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. The task force on sick time and vacation accrual, please make sure that you and Vince coordinate findings and movement to Frank O'Donnell with finance.
Thank
And
you.
also, Mr. Sierpinski and Mr. Mosey, would you please coordinate with John Schilling on school security matters as it relates to facilities?
Absolutely.
Madam President, in relationship to the task force, the first thing that needs to be done for corrective action at the very next meeting is, again, I will request again that we have all hourly employees come back, listings, come back to the board so that we may approve them as hourly as opposed to salary. It's urgent that we get that corrected. Thank you.
We have that on the list.
For the next action.
Okay, other matters of business, Mr. Sierpinski?
None from me, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Madam President, what I'd like to do is briefly state what it is. Last year, around in June, when we approved the final budget for the yellow book, this was approved with, the budget was based on this book, with 11 months of actual and 1 month of estimate. What I'd like to do is make a motion that this book be updated by September 17th with all the budgetary changes that the board has approved in this yellow book and all the actual numbers as we have them as of this minute. Even though the auditors have gone, there could be some 1 or 2 minor adjustments that will still have to go in this book anyway.
Right.
So what I'd like to basically do is make a motion to update the final budget, the June 17th book by September 17th.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Motion by O'Donnell, second by Sierpinski. My first question, Mr. Sowers, can you have it done by then?
Yes.
You will.
Thank you.
Any other questions left?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's significant about September 17th?
Because the first time we can make, well, first of all, so the finance committee can start looking at it the end of September, and then the first time we can make any budgetary transfers, where this current year may have been overstated significantly that I found by some information I have, we can start making transfers October 1st. That's why I'm picking September 17th deadline. That's the day after the.
And that's your best call as finance chair?
I'm sorry.
That's your best call as finance chair?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Schilling?
Can't you just do an addendum to that book instead of having to print the whole book?
No, they have to update because this has 2 years prior actuals.
Right.
Then I want last year's actual. Because last year, we based the current budget now on last year's actual with 11 months actual and 1 month estimate.
Right.
In some cases, I found some significant differences.
So you say there's errors in that comparison?
Well,
we
not
have to renew
errors.
it?
No, they're not errors.
No.
This kind
They're
of.
not errors. For example.
Estimates.
Dragging
For example,
estimates,
John,
okay?
when I was talking to Ed Furman on the phone, as any accountant would do, you would overstate when it comes to fringe benefits. We could be possibly overstated until the numbers are fine-tuned by, let's say, $500,000. Well, what I want to do is take $500,000 out of benefits and put it into the budgetary reserve.
Okay.
Instead of letting it
If that's
float
correct.
in limbo.
That's an example of what I want to
All
get
right,
from.
fine.
Okay,
See, John,
now-
we couldn't get the actuals when you passed the budget because you hadn't closed out the year.
Right, I
Now we've
understand.
had 3 months.
I understand that. I just didn't know if you could
Yeah.
just put an addendum to that.
Okay,
Can I ask
Mr.
one?
O'Donnell, this is not a surprise to Mr. Sowers. He knows this was going to be coming, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this isn't a shocking request this evening.
As a matter
You're
of
getting
fact-
board
matter
approval
of
for it
fact-
this evening.
Well, I just want to make sure it's done because,
But you talked to Jim about this ahead of time?
yes.
Right, I figured.
Finance meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, and we do it every year anyway. I just don't want to make sure because we have a lot of things going
That's fine.
that it gets somehow buried. I just want to make sure it's what the attention of the board members.
Won't be
The board
buried.
sees what that says.
You discussed this at the finance committee meeting, but you didn't have exactly the immediate timeline attached to it. Wouldn't it not, with the auditor, will be out within a few weeks after this, usually by second week of October.
We're
he's
not going to
got
have the final numbers for about 6-7 weeks.
Right.
actuals, but then when you reprint, you are actually going to have actuals because you are still going to have estimates.
Right
To
now,
a point,
everything
I
is
mean, some-
99.999%
They should be
done.
close,
It still
you
has to go, the work has to be rekeyed into this anyway.
I just wondered if 2 weeks, 3 weeks would actually give you finalized numbers as opposed to,
The numbers are done, Vicki.
Vicki,
The orders are gone, the numbers are done, they're in.
they have put them in?
Mr. Sowers, I'll ask you again, can you get it done by the 17th?
Yes.
Then that's it.
But there'll be final
Okay.
closeout numbers.
There's one open question on a year-end accrual, but it would be
Other than literally 1 or 2,
Right.
I can still use what I want to do.
There are some open, not many.
All right, folks.
Okay.
I have one more, Madam President.
We didn't vote.
Can I vote?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do we vote?
Did you want to
Yeah.
vote?
You know,
We have to
Frank?
vote?
Frank.
Do you need, is there a motion?
Yes,
Yes.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you. Go ahead.
I'd just like to make another motion. We've talked about this for several meetings over the past year about developing an inventory list with serial numbers by location. And I don't know if we have this for all of our computer equipment.
You should.
So I'd like to make a motion that we.
Well, let's find out before you make a motion.
Okay.
Mrs. Klein?
She was told.
Up
Go
again,
ahead.
up again.
Do we have an inventory list by serial number, by location, for all of the computer equipment we purchased in the past year and a half?
Yes, the new equipment that's been coming in the last week, I might not.
Well,
But prior to that, yes.
I didn't know that. Thank you very much.
We don't need a motion. Could you just submit that list to the board?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Klein, very much. Did I save you a
I'm
motion or
satisfied.
what?
Thank
Okay.
Madam President, if
Yes,
I
sir.
may. Concerning the Support Services Committee meeting, I saw something I was very happy to see, and I want to thank you, Mr. Sierpinski. I see where you requested, you received questions concerning transportation about on a monthly basis.
Monthly report.
That was something I'd asked for and had difficulty getting. I thank you for that. I just had one question. Trip miles, 55,000 miles a year is what our buses do.
I think that's, we brought that question up. I forget what Art told us.
Let's try, because
I don't think
it says trip miles, 6,000 a month and approximately 55.
We did over 1.3
Per
million.
bus? Per bus? Is that per bus?
I don't know.
Separate
Yeah.
issue, trip.
Is this, no, he has 125 buses and vans. I'm assuming these are total,
I think at that meeting it came out.
got
that it was
$107,000 in wages.
It's
Per
one.
month, per
If you
bus.
do an
Per
average,
bus
that
per
could be
month.
right.
No.
You're telling me one bus does 55,000 miles a month?
How many miles?
No, Art told us I think it was 1.3
That's back to
million
Florida
miles
4 times.
per year, and then we have a breakdown there of particular trips and other things. And it was a little bit detailed, and Art is also refining that report so that when we get the monthly report, we'll have a better detailed explanation and description of most of those.
Mr. Muzzy, we'll wait for Art to
Yeah, if you would,
update us.
if it has to be updated, because these were some figures that I was really interested in, and since we're, told we have to purchase 20 buses a year for the next 5 years, I think it could be very beneficial. Thank you. That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you. Okay, are there any other matters of business? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
5 minutes, guys, come back real quick. Mrs. Page?
Almost.
We're waiting on you guys.
Before John does. So, yeah, I've been here for a while.
Wait, 5
They
minutes for
were.
you guys.
They're back there microwaving brownies. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a board committee meeting, September 7th, 1999, Educational Services Center. Tonight's action meeting had 2 matters on the agenda, class sizes and guidance curriculum update. Earlier in a special action meeting, concerns about class size were brought up at that time, and all further information is being referred, further information and discussion is being referred to the next action meeting, Thursday, the 16th, September 16th. Under guidance curriculum update, Dr. Rusnock.
Mister,
What?
not doctor.
Mr.
Yeah.
Rusnak?
He is promoted.
I know, I keep getting these promotions.
I mean, we're paying you to be a Mr., not a doctor, right?
That's right.
Okay, thank you. Just checking that before Mr. Mosey asks the question.
We're paying to be a doctor.
I understand that you wish that to be pulled from the work session this evening for further information?
We could do that, sure.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay, members of the board, is there a motion to adjourn?
I need to get one.